Yo, Elliot. Got this great question from our buddy Sadiq from Singapore. He's 25 years old. This year, it's 2013 if you're watching this, he made a New Year's resolution. He said that he wanted to lose a lot of weight. He wanted to lose weight this year, and he lost almost 60 pounds, right? And here it is, we're in December. Over the course of the past 12 months, almost 12 months, he's lost 60 fucking pounds. Congratulations, my man. Be grateful for that. And be grateful for your ability to execute and move in the direction of a goal. A lot of people, they can't set goals and they can't reach them. You seem to be able to engage in one of the most important activities in life. But fast forward to today, I'm just not motivated at all. My diet is messed up with junk food and fast food. I started gaining a little bit of weight and I was feeling depressed about it. Can't seem to get it together. All he wants to do is sit at home and play video games on the internet. Video games again, guys. Look, I have nothing against video games, but I see so many of you falling down into the depths of dysfunction because of fucking video games. At least half these questions have video games involved with it. You know, you're not on crack, you're not on heroin, but you see the deleterious effects of engaging in this virtual life that we have either through Facebook or you know, a lot of people, if it's not video games, it's the internet. But anyway, any advice on motivation, on getting back on track, so on and so forth. So, a couple things I want to share with you here, buddy. Number one, of course, is, as I said before, congratulations. That was an incredible feat. To lose 60 pounds over the course of this year is great, okay? One thing that I want to offer you is that, and I've said this numerous times in numerous videos, but that life happens in seasons. And you can expect to put in a lot of effort and work for a particular time, and you're going to expect the results to come along with it, but you're also going to find that there's a season where there's a lack of yang energy or your ability to execute. It's fine. In fact, it's the way it should be. Now, you don't want to fall back into old patterns. Be very mindful of that. Give yourself benchmarks to maintain. So say, for example, lost 60 pounds, now it's the end of the year. It really is harvesting time of the year. That's probably why I'm talking this way so much with so many of you, because a lot of the emails sound like this, and I personally experienced these seasons in my life. But you know, between Thanksgiving and Christmas, New Year's, it's harvest time, dudes. That means you have sown all through the spring and summer, breaking your ass, doing what you've got to do, and now it's time to chill the fuck out, and that's okay. No matter what it is, if it's school, if it's working out, doesn't matter. If it's business, for me it's business. Notice I don't have as many videos going up because I'm chilling the fuck out because it's harvest time. I put in a lot of work this year. I look back at the videos I created in January, I was a totally different person. Look at my videos from January through like April or so, throughout the summer, I was up until this point. I'm a different person. Grateful for the experience that I had for 2013. I'm resting a little bit, as you should too, if you feel that coming up in you. Problem is that the world isn't designed in such a way, the socioeconomic machine isn't designed in such a way that you can actually follow the natural rhythm of nature. You know, most companies are trying to get you to work harder this time of year because they want to finish up the books with a certain monetary goal. And then in school, you're forced to like do these exams before the end of the year. It's fucked up, it's weird. It completely goes against your nature. This is a time to chill the fuck out. Now, like I mentioned benchmarks before. I've got a couple things to share with you in this video. But benchmarks, I said, okay, good. Look, so if you're gonna fall off the wagon, know that you're falling off the wagon, but don't lose it all. So for example, you know that you lost 60 pounds, don't gain any more than 10. Now, if you gain more than 10 pounds over this time of relaxing, sometimes you gotta take a step back to move forward. So you take a step back, but don't take a very big step back. Once you get to 10 pounds, then you start taking actions towards maintaining where you're at. So that means, for me, for example, I know that I should fast 1 or 2 days a week, right? I'm maintaining right now. I mean, my body doesn't look the best that it's looked in the past. I mean, I look the best I probably ever looked earlier this year in spring. But I know that if I go any heavier than 220, I'm fucked. So I just keep myself at 220. And that means I fast 2 days a week, I walk in the morning at least 3 days a week, and I do some cardio and I weight train, just enough to kind of get me through the season. Because the energy is going to come back, the yang energy is going to come back soon, and I'm gonna go at something crazy. Same thing's going to happen for you. have a few practices that are in your back pocket. Like I said, for me it's fasting. For you it might be you know, particular type of diet that you follow to lose the weight, but you do it only 2 days a week. You know, maintain, in other words. You don't want to completely lose yourself and fall back into old habits. Just maintain. You don't have to achieve anything great at this time. Just maintain, or don't fall too far behind, because the energy is going to come back and you don't want to make up for lots of lost time. The other thing I want to share with you in this video is this concept of self-sabotage, because a lot of times what we end up doing is we set goals for ourselves, we aim towards the goal, and right before we're about to reach it, we throw it out the window. Now this may or may not be the case for you. Like I said, it may merely be the function of the seasons in your life, the annual seasons of the year, or it could be a form of deliberate, unconscious self-sabotage. And the reason why that would happen would be is if you grew up as a fat kid your entire life and now you're losing all this weight, you might not be personally identified with the person that you're becoming, and in fact you may be tethered to or shackled to that person who you've always been, which is fat. You know, and the fat guy, people behave towards you in a particular way associated with the character of the fat guy. You know yourself a particular way as the fat guy, and now that you're trying to be something else, there's resistance, there's unconscious resistance. And it could also come from the people around you. They just don't want you to become something that they don't recognize. You know, people spend their life trying to figure out how to be with you, and then you change all of a sudden and they make it very difficult. It's uncomfortable for them, so they make it difficult for you. Be mindful of that. You know, other people drawing you back into behaviors that will make you go back to your old self. You know, your friends like, hey, let's go eat pizza, let's go drink beer, let's go, you know, all the things that they enjoyed doing with you while you were fat, and they might still be fat. Don't let them drag you down that path. Be mindful of that. But what you need to do, and I know this, look, everything I offer you guys here is based on my experience. This is my journey as well as yours. And as I discover things along this journey, I'm happy to share them with you. That in order to proceed to the next stage of development in your life, see, the next stage of development for you is going to be the individual who's fit and healthy, not fat. You've got to have a very clear idea of what that individual looks like. And when I say look, I don't necessarily mean outwardly, but what kind of person that guy is. You could even sit down and write out what the new version of you is like, or put up pictures on your wall, or find mentors or people that emulate, that are expressing that which you want to become, and meditate on that. Affirm it. When I say affirm it, I mean speak to yourself in a way that you would if you already attained that. So for example, I've spoken about this several times on this channel, but mostly on my other channel, where I say, repeat the affirmation, I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm 175 pounds, lean, fit, and healthy. Now you might not be that yet, but you want to affirm that. You want to place yourself in the way of gratitude. You want to use gratitude as your tool for self-cultivation by saying, I'm so happy and grateful now that I blank. You're setting yourself up to receive the thing that you're after. Now this sounds crazy, but just consider that when you're grateful, you're much more relaxed, open, and available to behaviors that are contingent, that are associated with the newer version of yourself. When I was trying to build my business several years ago, my personal training business, and I was flat broke, I used to say to myself, I am so happy and grateful now that I earn $10,000 a month. That was my affirmation in order to become and to receive what I wanted so I can continue to grow in life. And it wasn't because I said that money just magically fell into my fucking hands. It doesn't work that way. You know, those of you who are pro The Secret or anti The Secret, you don't really understand the physics of this fucking thing. You literally are brainwashing yourself to engage in activities that are going to support the thing that you're after. So for example, when I used to say that, for some reason I just had a natural desire to help more people in my gym that weren't my clients. So I go around to the gym, it wasn't my gym, I go around the gym and I'd see a guy that needed help, and he obviously is looking at me asking for help. Now normally I wouldn't have even picked up on that, but because I overhear a conversation. I remember this one specific time when this guy was talking about grip strength. He was like, man, you know, I keep getting stronger, but the problem is my hands can't handle the weight that I'm using. I went over, I said, hey man, no problem. And I showed him a couple exercises, the dude hired me right away. So when you brainwash yourself, when you affirm that thing that you want, you have this strange feeling that if you're sensitive, will guide you towards behaviors that will get you that fucking thing. I mean, you just gotta listen to yourself and you gotta go do it. So you've got to avoid self-sabotage by taking your eyes off of what you have, who you are at this particular time, and affirming the new version of yourself. Dudes, you're always evolving, you're always changing, you're always becoming a new version of yourself. You're never fucking static. Some people move faster than others. Some people grow faster than others. Some people, they're a little bit sluggish in this, but we're all moving. It doesn't matter. We're all on this journey. We're all dynamic. We're all evolving. The worst thing that you can do, the most uncomfortable place to be, is in a place of resistance, sitting on the fence, knowing that there's more for you, knowing that there's another version of you that you need to embrace and grow towards, but not allowing that to happen. So that's it, my man. Hope that helps.
Yo, Elliot,